Hey guys, it's Jen over at worldofjencraft.com, and I am back with my fourth card using this little piggy stamp set. And I have to say this one might be my favorite of all of them. Isn't it just too cute? Love this little flying pig. Oh my goodness. So I wanted to, if you haven't seen my first three, I'm going to bring them out quick before we get started. I promise I won't take up like forever. So if you haven't seen the other three yet, let me clear this out here. So these are two of them, and this is the third one. So I made a few changes. This one I ended up switching out from the Coffee Break DSP to the Whole Lot of Lovely. And this one, I ended up embossing the background with the pine wood planks. I'm not sure if you can see that detail in there. And the reason I did is I had such a wonderful response from these three cards when I first posted them that I decided I would do a little create and take packet for you guys if you would like to make the cards. So all of the details are over on my website, worldofjencraft.com, if you would like to check them out and get yourself little packets to make these cards. That is my spiel. Let's get on with all of the supplies so we can get on creating this, because it's a little time consuming, but I'll try and do it as fast as I can, I promise. So the supplies that I used are the Crumb Cake Classic Weave ribbon. If you guys have not seen this ribbon yet, it is really pretty, and in person it's just great. I can't decide if I like this one better or the shimmer ribbon. Oh my goodness, I think it's a good toss-up between the two of them. This little piggy, oh, so I can't promise I'll never do another stamp or card using this stamp set, but this is the fourth one, and I'll probably throw some in later on down the road, but that's the stamp set I used. If you haven't purchased one, do it. What are you waiting for? The dies that I used are the Stitched Shapes framelits and the Layering Ovals framelits right here, and I will give you the sizes of them when we go through the products I used. The pine wood planks, of course, because I couldn't do another piggy card without it. And I also used our new embossing paste along with this stencil. And this is from the Pattern Party Decorative Masks. You receive 4 of them in the package. I really love these clouds. And so this is the embossing paste, and I'll go into more detail once we start getting going on the card. I also used, well, glitter to put on it, and the inks that I used are Pool Party and Pear Pizzazz, and you will need a sponge or a couple of sponges. I just took a round sponge and cut it into quarters, and this is what I used. It was pretty easy doing it that way. The markers that I used, Basic Black and Powder Pink. I did use a watercolor pencil along with watercolor paper for the piggy. My Wink of Stella, just because, and a blending pen. Whew, that was a lot, but I promise you it is so worth it in the end when you are finished with this card. So I did use watercolor paper for my piggy, and this is 2 1/4 by 3. Then starting from the card base, this is soft suede cardstock at 5.5 by 8.5. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 Whole Lot of Lovely DSP. Isn't that, I think this is my favorite piece in this whole entire pack. Or did I say that with the other ones? I can't remember, but I love, love, love this. I do have a Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 5 for the inside of our card, as well as a 2.5 by 3.5 scalloped oval, and a 2 3/8 by 3 3/8 stitched oval. The Tranquil Tide is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8, and our Pool Party is 3 by 3.5. So the first thing that I'm going to get started on is, let's see, what do I want to do first? I think we're going to color the pig. Now I have already colored in a little piggy using the watercolor pencil. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this and fast forward while I'm doing it, but I used the Early Espresso again, because I love how it turns out this really soft kind of brownish pink color. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to color it in. I'm going to color the wings and his snout and his little cheekies and ears with the powder pink marker. So I'm going to go ahead and color this, and I'll fast forward quick while I'm doing it. Okay, so there he is, all colored in. You see that little shimmer on his wings? Isn't that just too sneaking adorable? So what I did is I took the powder pink, I colored in his wings, his snout, I gave him a little cheek, and I colored some pink in his ear, and I also colored his tail. And then with the Early Espresso, I did go ahead and I colored in his hooves just with the Early Espresso and no watercolor, so I did not blend that in. Now, afterwards, I did cut it out, and to save time, so I'm not fast forwarding through the details of cutting him out, here he is, all cut out for you. Now, what I did once I had him cut out is I took my basic black marker and I used the brush end of it. Now I've already done it, but I'll show you. I just went ahead and went around the edges. And what this does is it helps to conceal any of the white edges that maybe you missed, because if you're anything like me, you are maybe not the perfect cutter outerer. So I really do like taking the basic black marker along the edge, and it does end up kind of giving him a little bit more pop too, especially with the watercolor. Generally, I don't get any bleed from the archival basic black stamp pad when I stamp him out, but sometimes it does fade just a little bit with the color over the top. So that is our little piggy. Now I'm going to bring in our stitch circle, and I did use a technique like this a while back on one of my cards. Let me see if I can get, which I think, I can't tell if that's a blue or a green. Oop, that one's the green one. Okay, so now I'm going to take my Pool Party and my Pear Pizzazz, and this part really does not take very long at all. So I'm going to start with my Pear Pizzazz, and all we want to do is get the bottom portion. See, yeah, my card is still in there. So we just wanted to start on the outside, so you have a little piece of paper that you can go on to. And we're just going to very lightly do this bottom portion for our grass. Might take you a couple times to go over it. We don't want to go too much up into the actual oval. We just want to keep our grass kind of down here at the bottom of it. So I'm really only going to do about, I don't know, maybe that much, I think. And so then I'm going to take our Pool Party and we're going to give it some sky, which is going to be the majority of it because our little piggy is flying. She's flying very high in the sky. And I love the sentiment on here. It says she believed she could. And then on the inside, I'll say, so she did. And so let's go ahead and I'll fast forward through this as I fill this in, but it shouldn't take too long because we really don't want a very dark sky. We do want to make sure that you are blending in with your green at the bottom. So you kind of want it all to become one. Become one with the grass. So I'd say that's done. I think that looks really good. And it will start to kind of blend in. It might look a little blotchy now, but it will start to kind of soak into the paper, believe it or not. And it'll all kind of blend out. The next step, oh, this is so much fun. So this is our embossing paste. I played with this years ago, like back when they had the stencils that you put on the light box and you took your stylus and made an impression. So that's when I started with, I'd say that was probably over 15 years ago. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I was really super excited when I saw Stampin' Up brought embossing paste into the catalog. And they also brought in these stencils. Like I said, they're called the Pattern Party Decorative Masks, and you get 4 of them. So we are using the clouds for this one. So you just want to pick whichever cloud you feel like you want to use on this, and I was trying to figure out which ones I used. I can't remember. So bear with me a second while I get this figured out. I want to say it was, no, it wasn't that one. So I think it was this one here. Something like, well, maybe not. Oh goodness. Okay. I'm going to figure this out, and when I have it figured out, I will start taping again. Oh, okay, there it is. Got it. All right, so this is the one that I'm using. And so let's go ahead and line this up here. And we're going to want this kind of down like this and do, let's see, I think it was like here-ish. Okay, I guess it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't know about you guys. I am a total perfectionist, and I think I did do these 4. So the reason I have this is when I ordered my embossing paste, I completely forgot to order the little knives that go with it. So when I was making this the other night, I thought, well, what can I use that's kind of a spatula-y kind of thing that can help me put this on here? And it's my bone folder. So I just put a little bit of paste onto my bone folder, and working in the area that you want your little clouds to be on. So I think I'll just, maybe I have too much on here. So then I'm just going to kind of come across here like so. And you just want it, you know, you can have them as fluffy as you want, or, you know, as little as, or as deep, I guess, or the dimension that you want. So I just kind of came over here, and it doesn't have to be exactly smooth. After all, they are clouds, so they can have a little texture to them if you would like. And then finally, I'm going to do this one. Now, I will say my little stencil looks all nice and clean now, but as of right before I started this video, it was not. So what you're going to want to do is, as soon as you have this off, you are going to immediately clean it, because if you don't, then the embossing paste dries pretty quickly, and you are going to really have to work at getting it off. Now what I did is I started off actually with a oh, there it is. Isn't that so cool? So I started off with a razor, but that really wasn't working. And then my hubby decided to get out some lighter fluid, and the lighter fluid with just a paper towel and a kind of a rub around ended up getting it off. So if you do leave it and it dries, because this stuff dries pretty darn quickly. So what I did is I went ahead while it was still wet, and I just added some of this glitter, and the glitter will stick to your little paper, but that's okay. It will come off. You just kind of flick it a lot, and it doesn't actually come off the embossing paste, but it does come off of your paper eventually. You can always take a brush or of some sort. So check that out. Is that just not the coolest? All right, so I'm going to set this aside to let it dry, and it does dry pretty quick. And then I'm going to also rinse off my stencil so it does not dry again, and I will be right back. All right, clean stencil again. Amazing how much faster it goes when you don't let it dry on there. So I'm going to set this in a place, hopefully, that will not get smudged or moved around. And let's go ahead and we're going to start assembling our card base. So let me bring the card back in the picture. And as far as the card base goes, this goes pretty quickly. So we're just going to put our beautiful, beautiful DSP down. No, we're not. So that's not going to go down first. Let's put the inside on first. I did wrap around my ribbon onto the DSP after I had everything on there. So we need to put this in here, and as long as we have this open, let's get out our this, and we're going to stamp. I totally forgot to put my microwave back on. My microphone. I'm trying a microphone to see if I can get rid of some of the tinny sound. So for my sentiment, I did use the early espresso on here, but we're not going to stamp on here yet. But let's go ahead and put this on the inside. Make sure it's right. So she did. So I think I'm just going to keep this here at the top. Just kind of keep it simple. Oh, well, okay, so that's a little small. Might want to rethink where we put this, but that'll be for another time. Let's get out our Big Shot, and we're going to emboss using the pine wood planks quick. There's the bad boy. Love, love, love my Big Shot. Now I want my planks to go up and down, so I'm going to put it so it goes up and down on my paper. So that's just going to go in there, and going to roll it through. I think I might actually take a little shim, because for some reason it doesn't feel like it's getting much of an impression. So let's see how that looks. Ah, okay, that'll work. Pretty. There's a reason I don't sing in public. I know I sound horrible. So this is going to get adhered onto the front of our DSP. And again, forgive my big gun. I need to get some of the other adhesive ordered, and of course I forgot to do it in my last one. So this is going to go maybe about 1/2 of an inch from the right hand side, and it's going to go, yep, at the top there. And then we're going to put our Tranquil Tide, and that is going to go centered between our Pool Party, and then it'll be about 1/2 an inch from here and 1/2 an inch from this side. I really love these color combinations together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our ribbon, if I can find it in this mess that I have created. Bring my card back in, and the ribbon is going to go just across the front and centered within your Tranquil Tide. And since I've already put adhesive on the back, I don't need to do that again, but I do need to locate my scissors. There they are. And that will go over here. And then we're gonna wait to put our bow on, but or not, because I felt like a bow would be too big for this area. So let's just kind of get our adhesive on here so it'll all stick down once it's on the front. All right. That whole piece is just going to go centered on your front. And then let's get our, I think we should be good to go. Now if I can just locate the whole piece that I had set aside. There it is. Let's see. It's dry. Yep, it's dry. So we are good to go on that. Let's see, make sure it's dry. Yep. Before I start putting adhesive on the back and squish it, I just wanted to make sure. Maybe I'll have to sit and time it sometime to see how long it actually takes to dry, maybe on a test piece. So this is going to go, if we can, centered in our sweet little scallops. Trying to do this and not get my head in the way. And we're going to pop this up using Stampin' Dimensionals. And that is going to go on here, centered onto your Tranquil Tide. Yes, that's it. Okay, and we're gonna pop up our little piggy. And I'm just gonna kind of bend her wings out like that. Not like they'll stay or anything once you squash it into an envelope, but I guess for our purpose today, we'll just kind of do that. And then she's just gonna come kind of over here at an angle to make it look like she's flying. Cute, cute. So I doctored up my stamp. Initially the stamp comes with the sentiment on the bottom, but I did go ahead and cut it off, and it does fit back fine. And so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of bending this up a little bit, so I kind of have a little bit of curve to go along with the bottom of my, I think I'm going to move that up a little bit. So just kind of, I don't know if you guys can see that, I'm just going to kind of try to maneuver it and bend it so it has a slight curve to it. And then we are going to, if I can stop messing with it, we're going to ink it up quick. And it's going to go down here. Ah, darn it. Okay, sorry. I really wanted to swear. Okay, so maybe I need to do that before I pop it up, because I think that was my problem. And thank goodness the background doesn't take too long to go ahead and redo, but I'm obviously not going to do it right now. But so your sentiment will go down here. And then the last thing that we are going to do is go ahead and tie on a little knot onto the side. And we're just going to pretend that those smudges are not there, because they're not. It's all a figment of our imagination, right? Right. I will fix it as soon as this video is over, I promise, because I'm not wasting this whole card just based on that. So if you would just cooperate with me, Mr. Ribbon. All right, get that cut. And stay down. All right, we're done. That's it. Now, if you could just, we'll just pretend that this is the finished card, right? So didn't that turn out really super cute? I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna bring back the cards again, just in case you wanna see them again. And there are instructional videos and photos, and I even have a link that goes to complete instructions on how to create all of these. And then I will go ahead and I'll put complete instructions for this one too, but it will not be included in the create and take because I went ahead and put that together before I had my fourth card done. So there they are, all 4 little piggies. Just happy, happy, happy. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry the video took a little bit longer than normal, but I really love the techniques that I used on this, and hopefully you did too. I will talk to you later. Don't forget to check out my website, worldofgencraft.com, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks again. Bye.